welcome back. Decided that today is the day to compare these two. An Epiphone Les Paul limited edition 59 against a Gibson R9 Les Paul custom shop. I've done quite a few comparison videos where everyone has been giving their comments as to the tones, which is great. Thank you so much for all the comments, I really appreciate it. And I know that when you're listening either through the phone speakers, which is awful, but some of you have even gone to the trouble of going through some headphones and trying to listen to the videos and seeing what you can hear, the fullness and richness and which EQ switches which way out of the two. Great, I love the debate. But the question was posed to me a couple of weeks ago. What is the actual difference when playing? How do they feel? So I thought that's what I covered today. I hope you heard the tones in the beginning. Those were all recorded through amplifiers straight into Logic, all with the exact same settings, so I hope you could hear the difference. But what about feeling the difference? Well, start here. The Epiphone. Started this video a few weeks ago where we talked through and I talked about how fantastic I thought this guitar is. And yes, for the money, this is brilliant. But in comparison, this one is approximately 6 or 7 times the price. And for good reason. When you play it and hold it, I fully understand why this is that much more money than this. Now, it is the law of diminishing returns. Obviously, they look the same. The pickups are very similar. They're both Gibsons. The electronics, these have got the great electronics that you get. Maybe not quite custom shop, but definitely the Les Paul standard style. But feel. Epiphone. Feels great, especially for the chords. Bar chords, sounds great. You can rock out on a gig on one of these, not a problem. When it comes to playing the fluent lead lines, when it comes to intonation, when it gets further up the neck, when it comes to the feel of the back of the neck as you get to somewhere near the heel, you can tell it hasn't, well, it has had a lot of love, but it isn't in the area of love that you get from a Gibson. It does go out of intonation. It doesn't seem to be able to be intonated, no matter what I do to the stop tail piece or give it to anyone. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. It has a character to it when it does so. There is also the fact of giving it the right action. This is kind of set about 2 millimeters further up than I usually like having it, which is fine when it comes to doing some funky stuff. This is absolutely fine. You get a bit of bounce, but obviously you have to adjust your grip level and the amount of pressure you put on the strings because it doesn't have the same intonation. You don't want to sound that roughly out of tune. Bringing us on to this, the Gibson R9. It is the 60th anniversary, as it says on the back, and you can see just from the quality of woods, the quality of the top, it is brilliant. The action on it is level all the way through, and that was, as I got it, I didn't even touch it. I told the chap where in the shop I bought it from that I just want it low, and with 10 to 52s, pop them in, off you go. And I haven't needed to adjust it since. Obviously I've had a new set of strings, but that's it. It is very fluid, very fast, very slick. Everything feels as if it's had a lot of care and attention to it. I can't see any glaring kind of QC things to go through. You pay for quality and you pay for being able to do more with the instrument. Whether it sounds better or not is completely subjective. I would argue that because you are able to play in a more in-tune fashion, no matter where you are on the neck, that lends itself to being a better instrument or more in tune or a higher quality, however you think of it. But it is feel, touch, tone is money spent. Now, whether you think that is 6 times as much, that is completely up to you. But after I graduated from things like playing simple chords, maybe even going higher up the neck and going even to a bit of funk chords, etc., this is where this shines. I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe even some further questions that I'll do my best to answer in the comments in terms of feel, but feel is such a hard thing to describe. But imagine an Epiphone with a nicely rounded neck, flat response all the way up and down, no changes in tone or intonation or going out of tune just because you decided to dig in a little more. That's what you get when you play a Gibson, or you get this one compared to an Epiphone. They're both made by the same company. They've both made money out of me twice. But they both have their uses. This one will stay at home and play all day and learn new songs and new riffs and have a great time with. The other one sounds great and I can take it anywhere and not worry because it isn't this. Thanks so much. I think the next video is going to be all about the Boss IR2 because I've had it a few months and I've been recording with it constantly. It is a fantastic pedal, but I'll talk you through all that later. Thanks so much. See you for the next one.